Hi, this is Brad Willis. I'm the moderator of the MetalStorm fan group. We're located on Facebook at www.facebook.com/groups/MetalStorm fan group. I think we've got somewhere around 375 to 400 members at this point. I think we have a lot of the best players in the world, and we have some new players and young players and old players like me and everyone in between. So it's a great place to get to know some of your MetalStorm fellow players and to pick up some tips and techniques and maybe share some of your successes and victories and frustrations and that sort of thing. So if you have an interest in joining the group, you know where to find us. Now, I'm going to do a review of Red Widow, which is a weapons class plane that is released periodically. It's been re-released here very recently as of this writing. I think it's a good plane. I'm not sure what kind of result I'm going to have with this video because the game as of this moment remains pretty screwed up, just to call it like it is. There are a lot of problems seemingly with the Z2 servers, I believe. I think that's what's going on, where we're getting a disconnect in terms of the game sync. The players are not really where they appear to be on the screen, and you get missiles coming out of thin air, and it's very frustrating. I know they're working on the problem. I hope they resolve it, and I hope we can find a good game. It is possible, but with that, coupled with all the cheaters in the game, it makes it quite difficult. But we're going to try. But before we do that, let's talk briefly about this plane. The statistics on this plane are generally very useful. Now, before we get into that, I'll just click through so you can get a better look at the plane. And you can see it does have a nice appearance and detailing. It's a little big, especially when you're going real slow. You may see that in the video, I'm not sure. But other than that, you know, it's nice looking, and it actually has pretty good performance and handling characteristics. Now, looking at the stats, critical strike plus 5%. That is the likelihood that you will double the damage at some random occurrence periodically, and it's quite useful. It's always nice when you can double the damage. Obviously, it increases your chances of destroying your opponent. Missile reload plus 10%. It means obviously it reloads faster, and that doesn't help you much in a dogfight, but where it does help you is when you're facing that opponent from a distance. You can crank off missiles quicker, and of course the more missiles you send downstream at them, the chances are better that you're going to blow them up. Damage plus 14, not best in class, but not far from it. Very good. You can do plenty of damage with a plus 14. And lastly, a very helpful statistic, agility plus 10. I really like having some extra agility in weapons class planes. They don't have that much inherently, and so in order to get better target acquisition, especially on agility class planes, having that extra agility boost helps you. What's missing? Energy would be nice. It's not quite as critical with weapons class, but it would have been helpful, and I think speed could be a little helpful too. Although again, that's not quite as necessary on weapons class because you're not usually in that agility type of dogfight, you know, so the speed is not quite as critical. It'd just be on the nice to have list, but overall the stats it does have are quite good. We're going to play somebody. So again, I'm just got my fingers crossed because I've been trying to find a decent player where it's not. So this is actually, I've made several attempts on this video, and I'm either getting cheaters or people with horrendous lag. I just can't get a good game. But let's stop talking. Let's start playing. Let's see who we come up with, and let's hope we can. I'm going to talk about my opponent. I'll tell you what I think of them, what they're doing. I'll talk a little about the plane, and I'll talk a little about my strategy. Now we've got a Mako with, seems like a pretty good player, and Lancers. Now this is going to be tough because I'm using credit weapons. He's using coins. And right off the bat, you can see that he's got a beat on me, and he's just going to sit and pepper Lancers at me. So all I'm trying to do is get some target acquisition. You can see how fast he's moving. Makes it really tough. So I'm just trying to keep up with him and get some shots on him. Now he fired another Lancer at me. I want to keep it fairly close because I don't want to give him a lot of distance to pepper him with Lancers. He can do more damage to me with those Lancers than... Okay, there he is. So he's opening up on me. I'm just hoping I can get a couple shots. Oh, good, we got him. He was going to open up on me and come at me from a distance with Lancers, and of course what we were able to do is nail him before he had much of a chance to do that. Now he's going to hit me here. I'm hoping he doesn't blow me up. Okay, good, we got him. Now he's got a very agile plane with much better weapons, but I've got a little bit thicker skin than he does. Uh-oh, I kind of cheated in the wrong direction, so he's going to blow me up right here, and he did. You know, sometimes I'll pick right or left to kind of cheat toward, and if they end up in that direction, it helps, but it can really hurt you. Now there he is again. I'm going to spin, because remember when you spin, most of these planes in the weapons class have a damage reduction. Now he's kind of giving me more distance than he should, and I think I'm going to make him pay for it if he keeps that up. He's let's see if he does that again. Okay, he's keeping it a little bit tighter this time, which works to his advantage. But you got to be careful when you're flying agility, because when you go way out like that, even if you're going to turn and come back, it gives a guy like me a chance to come back and nail you while you're basically outbound. So I'm just kind of keeping it tight, following the arrow. I'm hoping I can frustrate him and that he opens up the distance to try to get a good shot on me, because when he does that, I'm going to nail him. So far, he's not really doing that. But again, I'm just keeping it close, trying to avoid his lancers, because again, he does have me outclassed in terms of weaponry. So there he goes again. Now, come on, man, open it up a little bit. I'm just hoping that he will, because obviously he knows he's down and the time's getting short. No, no, I thought he was going to go. He didn't yet. Okay, a little bit more room there. I'm going to accelerate and spin and come about hard. Now, hopefully we'll get a target. No, not quite, almost. Come around again. I'm just looking for that one shot. And well, I had a shot. I wasn't quick enough on it, but I'm hoping he will open it up on me a bit, and he's just not doing it. I'm going to spin hard, and he's firing at me, but he's not quite catching me. So we're going to chase that arrow. We're going to spin around again. There he is again. I'm pretty much out of energy. Let's see if I can last another 3 seconds. I think so. There he is again. I was going to try to do a spin move on him and take him out. Well, we won, and fortunately that game was actually a pretty clean game. We didn't have a huge amount of lag in it. We didn't have a cheating player. We did find a player in a good plane with a good skill rating and a good win-to-loss ratio using Lancers, which is always tough. But I think you could see that this plane, under the right circumstances, can be pretty formidable. We did take him out when we had an opportunity, and you could see by the way the plane moved that the agility for weapons class is actually very solid. And again, anytime you're using stock cannon and credit missiles like I am, and you're playing a person with coin weapons, especially with that kind of agility, and you can win, that's always a good thing. So that is the review of Red Widow. I think it is a very solid plane. I think, again, due to some of the problems in the game right now, you might not be able to always experience, this and some of the other planes that are good. They'll seem less good because the game is not right, But that particular match turned out to be a pretty reasonable match, and I think you could get a good idea as to the handling characteristics and the capabilities of the plane. Even with credit weapons, it's very solid, and if you're a coin weapon user, you can do serious damage, especially with the 10% missile reload and 14% damage. I mean, if you can get at somebody like this guy from a distance and crank off, Bisnos or Lancers at him, you can do very, very serious damage. I don't usually use coin weapons, but it certainly would be a good plane if you're somebody who does that. So that is our review on Red Widow, and as always, if you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section here at YouTube. Hope you enjoyed it. It is available at least as of this moment, so if you have an interest, grab it, because you never know how long it's going to be before they appear again. Meanwhile, as always, I will see you in the skies playing MetalStorm.